Friends and distinguished guests, please welcome tonight's host, Tara Hogan Charles.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for this year's Journey to Justice celebration. My name is Tara Hogan Charles, and I am proud to serve as chair of the board of directors. It is an honor to serve in this capacity, but I work alongside a dedicated group of board members who are just as committed to Tahirih as I am. Can my fellow board members please stand or raise your hand? For those of you who don't know me, I jokingly describe myself as a recovering lawyer. But I work for Procter & Gamble here in Washington, D.C., and I've been on Tahirih's board for 6 years now. My introduction to this organization happened during this very event all those years ago, and I was blown away by the stories of courage and resilience that I heard. I knew that night that there was something special about the Tahirih Justice Center, and I'm certain you'll walk away tonight feeling the same way. Before we get into our short program for the evening, I want to share just a few thoughts about what makes Tahirih special and why I admire this organization and why they are so critical at this time. We are bold in our vision. We believe that every person deserves to live in safety and with dignity, no matter where they were born or the color of their skin. Violence against women happens in this country at epidemic rates, but we are bold enough to believe that it doesn't have to be that way. Since 1997, Tahirih has worked to end this violence, believing not only that it can be done, that it must be done. Tahirih is rooted in its values, which are inspired by the Baha'i faith. Those values remind us to be consultative in our decision-making, inclusive of diverse voices, and nonpartisan in our approach. In these divisive times, I want to emphasize that Tahirih does not name and shame. It is a nonpartisan organization, and we choose to not name names or parties, but to focus on our work and the vision for a just and equitable society, and celebrate the actions that promote it. So that's what we're here to do tonight. Finally, we stay focused on our mission. We provide free legal and social services to thousands of immigrant women and girls and other survivors of gender-based violence every year. Our staff are experts in trauma who support survivors on their journeys to justice. When survivors obtain legal benefits to which they are entitled, they become change makers, helping all of us to live in safer, more thriving communities. This quick video will give you a closer look.
Everyone deserves a life free from violence, no matter where we were born, the language we speak, our gender, or the color of our skin. Yet more than 1/3 of women here in the U.S. experiences violence in their lifetimes, and immigrant women are more than twice as likely to face abuse, assault, and trafficking than their U.S.-born counterparts. Since 1997, the Tahirih Justice Center has worked to support immigrant women, girls, and all survivors of violence on their journey to find freedom, safety, and dignity. Over the past 28 years, Tahirih has answered more than 36,000 calls for help from people fleeing domestic abuse, sexual assault, forced marriage, and human trafficking. We provide free legal services to achieve the immigration status survivors are entitled to under U.S. law, and vital social services so they can rebuild their lives. Food, emergency shelter, counseling, medical services, employment services, and so much more so that survivors can begin healing from trauma and have the means to support themselves and their family. Tahereh creates this impact with the support of a robust pro bono network of thousands of professionals who provide free legal and social services of all kinds. And our policy team amplifies the experiences of immigrant survivors in communities, courts, and Congress to bring about systemic change, ensuring that laws and policies protect survivors from violence and exploitation. Tahereh Justice Center stands firm in the belief that none of us is free from violence and fear until all of us are.
Isn't that impressive? So tonight, let's celebrate this incredible organization and the strong and resilient women, girls, and survivors of violence that it supports. And let's celebrate the nearly 100 dedicated staff across the country who work hard each day to ensure safety for all of us. Now, if you're like me, it may feel wrong to celebrate when there's so much tough news out there. We read about global insecurity and billions in humanitarian aid that were cut. Many of us have friends and families, dedicated public servants who've lost their jobs. Important public health research has stopped. And if that's not enough, the rule of law has been challenged. And for the immigrant women and girls we serve, changes in immigration policy are coming very quickly. Did you know, for example, that a registration requirement from 1940 was just resurrected last month, causing chaos, fear, and confusion for thousands of families nationwide? Or that new laws allow immigration officers to arrest a woman while she's asking a judge for a restraining order. Changes like these are making it harder for immigrants living with abusers or traffickers to report a crime and to get to safety. The increased danger and fear that our clients are living with is absolutely heartbreaking. All of this is enough to make anyone feel hopeless. But Tahereh gives me hope. Tahereh is doing the difficult work to ensure every person living in violence can get to safety. They are supporting immigrants who experience domestic violence, trafficking, or forced marriage to get to the benefits that they need and deserve. But that hope can only get us so far without the funding support to deliver our services. At a time when Tahereh services are needed more than ever, we are facing severe funding shortages. Federal grants make up about 10% of our budget, and it's now clear that that funding is going to go away. As a result, we'll have to start turning people away. People like our client, Sarah, a survivor of violence and a single mom who is fighting cancer. And Mercy, who was pregnant when Tahereh helped her in an abusive situation. And the good news is that you can act tonight. You can make a donation, share this event with your friends on social media using #JourneyToJustice, and tell a friend about the great work Tahereh is doing. There has never been a more important time to stand in our values and show up in solidarity, and those are the people we are here to celebrate. So on behalf of everyone at Tahereh, thank you so much for being here tonight. Now we'd like to honor a few of our partners who have gone above and beyond, who have shown up this year in their services to survivors of violence. To present this year's awards, I'm thrilled to introduce you to Tahereh's Director of Public Policy and Advocate Extraordinaire, Casey Carter Swegman. Casey leads a small but mighty team of advocates and attorneys who work closely with survivors to change the laws that allow violence to continue here in the US. Please join me in welcoming Casey to the stage as she brings us some updates and presents Tahereh's 2025 Journey to Justice honorees.
Thank you so much, Tara. Just in general for your incredibly supportive and inspiring leadership as the chair of our board, and for being our host tonight. Thank you also to the other board members who show up for Tahereh every single day. And thank you to those of you who didn't, for those of you who don't know me, I came to Tahereh in 2013, and I was thrilled to be the first caseworker in our forced marriage initiative. I spoke with people of all ages and backgrounds who were facing forced marriages. Some were still children, being forced to marry much older adults. And that was really infuriating, because the consequences for those kids, mostly girls, would be lifelong. But a unique thing about Tahereh is that we take what we learn from our services to individuals and we translate that directly into policy advocacy. We see the problem, we envision the solution, and we then work closely with impacted people, peer organizations, and lawmakers to bring about lasting change. We began our campaign to end child marriage in the United States in Virginia, where there was no minimum age of marriage at the time. We worked with child marriage survivors to set a minimum age of marriage, and in 2016, we won a new law that helped thousands of children avoid being forced into marriages they couldn't legally leave. Since then, I'm proud to say that Tahereh has played a role in minimizing or completely ending child marriage in 37 states. It's very bright up here. I was looking for my colleagues who are doing that work all the time. And the big news is that we actually just celebrated a victory right here in Washington, D.C. That's right, the district just ended child marriage completely this year. With the help of our colleagues and allies and friends, we were able to make the minimum age of marriage 18 with no exceptions. And those are the first honorees that we are going to recognize tonight, who are receiving our 2025 Community Partner Award. Dr. Indira Hennard, President and CEO of the DC Rape Crisis Center, and Lul Mohammed, Executive Director of the Person Center. Both Indira and Lul played pivotal roles in achieving this victory in DC. You may not realize it, but while a local legislative session can be short, with lots of hearings and meetings going by quickly, the real work to change a law is quiet. It is a slow burn that can start years in advance. Indira and Lul never lost sight of our shared goal to end child marriage in the region, even when the going got very tough. For everyone who knows her, they know that Indira is a formidable advocate. Indira, please stand. You are truly once in a lifetime as a leader here in DC and nationally. I got to watch Indira in action a couple of years prior to our working together in DC, and every time she took the mic at any event or shared an insight at a meeting, I thought to myself, that is someone that I want to work with. Indira, you are such a fierce and clear-eyed advocate, and I know we would not have had the success in DC without you. The girls of Washington, DC are safer because of you. Not only because of this legislation, but because of the work that you and the folks at the DC Rape Crisis Center do every day. So thank you again. Lul, now it is your turn to stand. Woo! The work that you and the Person Center do each and every day for some of the most marginalized women and girls and their communities here in DC is truly one of a kind. And it's not just what you do, but it is how you do it. You are authentic, you are honest, and you are unflappable. And it is such a privilege to have gained you not only as a colleague in our work with survivors in DC and beyond, but also to now call you a friend and a comrade in this work. Thank you. Indira and Lowell, I just want to say one final thank you for your leadership. You are inspiring, and I am thrilled to present you both with our 2025 Community Partner Award. Which you will receive later. As policy director, I also work to improve and protect the laws that immigrants rely on to get to safety, like asylum and the Violence Against Women Act. Tahereh brings its signature nonpartisan approach to encounters with lawmakers, relying on sound research and deep relationships. This year, I've had the privilege of working closely with the law firm of Arnold & Porter as true champions of justice, unwavering advocates for our communities. And so I'm thrilled to honor them as our 2025 Law Firm of the Year. If you are here with Arnold & Porter, could you please stand up? Thank you so much. With remarkable dedication, attorneys at Arnold & Porter provided free services to individuals in need of representation through clinics, offering critical legal screenings, conducting thorough case assessments, and laying the groundwork for strong claims for protection under the law. They also provided full-scope legal representation in several immigration cases, research and policy matters, and gathered information about the impact of policy changes on survivors of violence. Their compassion, commitment, and expertise have made a lasting impact on the lives of those we served together. Thank you, Arnold & Porter, for your dedication and service in numerous advocacy and representation matters. Tahereh also works closely with major law firms across the country to expand our impact beyond what we could achieve on our own. In fact, for every $1 donated to Tahereh, we create $6 of impact, serving more people who qualify for protection under the law than we could otherwise. Last year alone, law firms donated over $25 million worth of services to Tahereh clients. And one of those firms is Kroll & Mooring, whose public service practice is led by our 2025 Pro Bono Team of the Year, Susan Hoffman and Tiana Russell. Could you please both stand? Together, they demonstrate inspiring commitment to our mission, helping find legal representation inside the firm for complex federal litigation matters and appellate cases, including, we know, with very quick turnaround times. You have filed lawsuits to compel asylum cases to move forward, since our clients now wait as long as 7 years just to have an interview. That delay can be unbearable for people who have experienced trauma because of a lack of access to health care, separation from their children, and difficulty finding work. But thanks to the team at Kroll, that wait is over for numerous Tahereh clients who have now been granted asylum. And so one final big thank you to Indira, to Lul, to the attorneys at Arnold & Porter and Kroll & Mooring for lighting the way for so many survivors on their journeys to justice this year. We see you and we appreciate you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Juliana, who recently won asylum, and my colleague Fayama Stevens, Social Services Program Manager in our Baltimore office.
Wow, it is bright up here. Well, hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Fayama Stevens, and I manage our social services program, as well as support and outreach and training in our Maryland office. I'm thrilled to be here with Juliana as we share a little bit with you about our experience working together in the process of obtaining asylum so she can avoid the persecution she would face if forced to return to her home country. We'll be speaking in Spanish, but we have Spanish to English interpretation available for you. So please put the headset on and follow along. Also, please be sure that your 2 headset pieces are connected. Juliana, muchísimas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros esta noche. Es un honor tenerla con nosotros.
Buenas noches con todos. Ante todo, gracias a Dios por la oportunidad de estar acá y gracias a Tahiri por la invitación de compartir el día de hoy con ustedes.
Quisiera de que empecemos con que usted nos dé un poquito de historia suya. ¿Podría contarnos un poco sobre su experiencia y qué la llevó a solicitar asilo en los Estados Unidos?
Bueno, yo tenía una experiencia de vida en mi país muy triste, ya que no he terminado de vivir mi infancia porque no la pude vivir con los derechos que merecía. No tenía libertad, no tenía protección, no tenía un refugio. Bueno, tenía un dueño que no me dejaba en realidad ser yo, tener voz propia. Em, Migré a los Estados Unidos porque tenía la fe de encontrar la libertad, la justicia, la seguridad que no tenía en mi país y el refugio que nunca pude encontrar.
Gracias por compartir un poquito de su historia con nosotros. Sé de que usted ha pasado por tanto y su camino no ha sido fácil y por esa razón me da tanta alegría de que Tahirih pudo ayudarle un poco en buscar esa seguridad que cada uno de nosotros aquí nos merecemos. Cuénteme cómo se sintió usted al conectarse con Tahirih por primera vez.
Encontré una esperanza de tener libertad, justicia, ya que desde un principio ustedes me brindaron y me ofrecieron el apoyo incondicional. Y eso me dio toda la seguridad que aunque yo sentía que estaba derrotada y que no iba a ser escuchada como lo fui en mi país, me di cuenta que mi color de piel no era una condición como en mi país en realidad me lo demostraban, ni tampoco el no saber el idioma. Ustedes me brindaron todo el apoyo incondicional, no vieron las condiciones y eso fue lo que me motivó a tener más fuerzas para poder luchar por mi casa.
Eh, Me alegra escuchar, ¿verdad?, de que ganó tanto en conectarse con nosotros y de ahí, de esa primera llamada, esa primera reunión, nació su caso de asilo, que sé que fue un camino largo, tuvo sus momentos altos, sus momentos bajos, pero quisiera de que me cuente usted qué fue para usted que ha sido la parte más gratificante para usted en trabajar con Tahirih.
Bueno, lo más gratificante ha sido el empoderamiento que he tenido yo como mujer, la evolución. Yo llegué siendo una persona inexperta, tenía miedo, no tenía alas. Pensé que solamente iba a llegar y bueno, iba a ser lo mismo de siempre como pasó en mi país. Em, He podido recuperar mi autoestima, mi seguridad, la fe, la confianza en mí y las ganas, que sí se puede. Yo pensé que no se podía, pero el miedo, lo imposible es una palabra, porque a pesar de que yo pensé que tenía las condiciones para no lograrlo, lo logré. Ustedes me dieron toda la motivación. Y lo más satisfaciente ha sido el apoyo moral, el apoyo personal, no solamente en mi proceso de asilo, sino también el apoyo familiar e íntimo, em, las ganas, la pasión que le han puesto a mi caso en todo el proceso y también el apoyo psicológico, que no solamente fue de parte de ustedes, sino también el apoyo profesional que me han brindado los terapeutas que he tenido.
Y yo puedo decir, ¿verdad?, de que también yo vi personalmente su crecimiento durante el tiempo que estuvimos trabajando juntas y ver cada reunión de que usted se sentía más con más confianza, más determinada. Eso era algo de que sé que para mí y Daniela, su abogada, nos daba ese ánimo para seguir peleando junto con usted también. Fue algo maravilloso. Mencionó, ¿verdad?, usted de que logramos ganar el asilo, lo logró usted. Y usted me ha dicho que es uno de los días mejores de su vida, que me imagino que nunca se lo va a olvidar. Cuénteme qué quiere decir para usted recibir el asilo y cómo ha cambiado su trayectoria.
Haber recibido el asilo es que mis esperanzas se volvieron realidad, es haber encontrado libertad, justicia, que nunca pensé encontrar, protección. Desde que obtuve el asilo sé que este país pasó a acogerme legalmente y brindarme la protección que no tuve en mi país. He sido escuchada, valorada y respetada y eso lo valoro mucho. Y bueno, Quisiera que el país en realidad siga creciendo. Yo quiero aquí hacer mis raíces, hacer crecer a mi familia, a mi hija aquí. Quiero aprender una profesión, aprender bien el idioma de este país. Quiero seguir viendo crecer este país y seguir brillando como siempre lo ha hecho ante muchos países. Quiero aportar para el engrandecimiento de este país y devolver todo lo que han hecho por mí y lo siguen haciendo.
Y yo sé, ¿verdad? Tengo toda la confianza de que usted va a aportar tanto a este país por muchos años por venir y eso es posible porque ganó su asilo y tiene la oportunidad de poder hacer eso estando segura en este país. Entonces, qué lindo de que el asilo le ha brindado esa oportunidad de pensar en un futuro para usted y su familia, ¿verdad? Y en pensar en ese futuro suyo, de su familia, cuénteme qué es lo que le gustaría ver a usted para el futuro de los Estados Unidos.
Bueno, actualmente, bueno, hablando cómo se encuentra la política en la actualidad, hay muchos inmigrantes que están siendo deportados, aún teniendo sus documentos para trabajar, no teniendo un estatus legal, ¿no? También hay personas que han hecho raíces, familias, negocios y aún así han sido deportados. Hay mujeres que están aquí, bueno, pierden la esperanza de poder recibir una petición de asilo por cómo se encuentra la situación. Y bueno, me gustaría a futuro ver un país sin guerra comercial, sin guerra entre los unos y los otros. No importa si el estatus migratorio. Quisiera ver un país que siga brillando. Quisiera que Tajiri siga dando vida a la historia de más inmigrantes como me la dieron a mí. Ustedes me ayudaron a volver a nacer, a empezar de nuevo. Les agradezco y siempre voy a estar agradecida. Y quisiera que este país también le dé vida a la historia de cada inmigrante y así los inmigrantes puedan aportar más y le sigan dando vida a la historia de este país. Porque, ¿qué pasaría de este país si se fueran todos los inmigrantes? ¿Este país seguiría siendo el mismo? ¿Crecería más? No se sabe.
Sí, gracias por esos pensamientos y por esa visión tan bella, pues entera de que usted pinta, ¿verdad? Para el futuro de los Estados Unidos. Sé de que cada uno de nosotros aquí nos unimos con usted en querer esa visión y vamos a pelear por ella, ¿verdad? Y para terminar, Juliana, no es todas las noches de que tenemos con nosotros una audiencia tan captiva y tenemos la oportunidad de compartir un poquito de nuestra historia, de nuestras palabras con ellas. ¿Cuál es el mensaje que usted quiere que las personas que nos acompañan esta noche lleven con sí mismos?
Bueno, a todos los que están aquí presentes les invito a que se puedan unir a esta noble causa, que hay muchas mujeres como yo que piensan que no se puede lograr. Mi color de piel era una condición en mi país. Yo acá tenía mucho miedo. Me sentía que estaba muy oprimida, pero nadie merece vivir con agresiones, con opresiones. Todos merecemos vivir en libertad. Y Tajiri podría lograr mucho más sonrisas como lo lograron conmigo si es que se unen y pueden ser parte de ello y pueden cumplir más sueños. Yo quiero ser el símbolo, la esperanza de muchas mujeres, de muchas personas que piensan que no lo pueden lograr, que no tienen la esperanza. Existe la fe, sí se puede. Si todos se unen, se puede. Y estoy segura que me voy a enterar, no sé si los vuelva a ver en otro evento y quisiera volver a encontrarme con ustedes en otros eventos. Quisiera que mi voz siga siendo escuchada, que muchas personas y muchas mujeres se sientan identificados conmigo, ¿no? Que sienten que no pueden. Y sé que me voy a enterar que muchas personas de aquí se unieron a esta noble causa. Me voy a sentir muy contenta de que una vez más fui escuchada. No importó mi condición, mi color de piel, no importó que yo no sepa el idioma. Gracias por tomarse el tiempo de escuchar el intérprete. Y sé que ustedes van a poder cumplir más sueños. Hay mujeres que están corriendo de la violencia de su país y Tajiri necesita más apoyo, necesita más respaldo. Y les agradezco a todos. Hoy día no está Daniela Prihoff, que es mi abogada, pero les agradecería si todos pueden acompañarme en darle unos aplausos a Tajiri por haberme cumplido el sueño de ser libre, de tener justicia, y todo su equipo, a las directoras y a todo el equipo que ha estado detrás de ellos respaldando para que ellos me puedan dar a mí una oportunidad de volver a vivir, de ya no tener dueño, de ser libre, de tener mi voz propia. y de volver a recuperar mi autoestima como mujer. Todas las mujeres queremos ser libres y queremos sentirnos así bonitas, ¿no? Gracias. Gracias. Gracias a todos.
Qué palabras tan poderosas, Juliana. Verdaderamente se me van las palabras para agradecerle su presencia con nosotros esta noche. Para mí ha sido un placer, el honor trabajar con usted, apoyarla en su caso, y sé de que yo, Daniela, todos nosotros aquí en Tajaray le agradecemos tanto por estar aquí con nosotras esta noche, por compartir un poquito de su historia, por darnos sus palabras tan bellas esta noche y dirigirnos en esta causa, ¿verdad? Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias a todos.
Now, if you'll all please join me in welcoming our CEO, Archie Piatti, to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. What an honor and a joy to be up here as the CEO of the Tajaray Justice Center. And what an honor to see all of you here this evening. Thank you so much for being here with us. Let me say first, before I do anything else, a big thank you to Fiamma and to Juliana. Thank you for allowing us to be part of that inspiring dialogue. I think we can all take away a few lessons from what we just heard. First, it takes incredible courage to stand up to power and control. When someone you are supposed to trust tells you, or worse yet, shows you, that you don't have the rights to which you are entitled, you start to believe them. Even things that seem ridiculous at first start to become real. A new normal emerges without you even realizing it. You know, if you take a frog and put it in a pot of cold water, it won't realize if the temperature starts to increase. It will simply adjust, it will adapt, and it will tolerate it until eventually it will boil to death. Waking up from that, saying, no, I won't take this anymore, and standing up for one's own rights takes real courage. Second, that even the strongest people can't do it alone. Strength is resistance to pressure and the capacity to overcome adversity. We each have it. But in the face of a bully who tries to push us down, to shut us up, we bolster our strength by reaching out for each other. It is when we unite hands in the face of control that we can rise up. Nobody has to go it alone, and I believe that nobody ever should have to. And third, there's hope. Look at the courage and strength we've had the honor to witness tonight. The human connection, the belief in the oneness of our humanity, enough that it motivated people like Juliana and her advocates to forge a path to freedom and safety together. Surely there are more people like them, people willing to lock arms and rise together, maybe even in this room tonight. I'm one of those people. I'm ready to lock arms with you. At this time, in this moment, there are millions of people in this country who feel scared, unwelcome, and alone. Immigrants with legal pathways to protection under statutes that were passed with bipartisan support. And yet we face, as a movement, decimation. We must raise enough money now to stop this trend and to ensure that Tajaray can stand strong for our clients and the others who call our helpline seeking protection and safety. We must lock arms and bolster our individual strength. I hope you'll make a gift tonight and ask as many people as you can to do the same. I am not just looking for charity. My friends, I am looking for resistance. We all have a personal story of resistance and courage. It's time to remember it and to use it to build our own power, to uphold our values, strive for our vision, and to protect our human rights. For us, the people who need our help, solidarity, and hope right now, more than ever, and for our collective future. Please donate, please stand with us, and please keep fighting for Tahirih and for its clients. Now, to close our program, before we break in the back for some delicious food and I know more invigorating conversation, please welcome my dear fearless board chair, leader, and boss, Tara, back to the stage.
Thank you, Archie. Wow. So I know I'm ready to do my part to link arms with you, Archie, and Team Tahirih, and I hope the rest of you are as well. You can make your gift tonight by scanning a QR code you see around the room or talking to one of our staff members here tonight. Can staff please raise your hand? And while you have your hand raised, I want to thank you for everything that you do every day. I tricked them. Given the funding crisis we're in, we need you now to help Tahirih continue to do this work. You may be thinking, how does my gift directly help immigrant women and girls? If you have the capacity to make a $5,000 gift, you will guarantee one immigrant survivor violence representation for 1 year. That means safety for her and her children with the ripple effects for their community and for the rest of their lives. If you make a $500 gift, you will help us file paperwork to stop the unlawful deportation of a client with a pending asylum application. And for just $50, what you might have spent on dinner out with friends, you can sponsor a client's transportation to her hearing, making sure she can safely and comfortably retell her story in front of a judge. I'll pledge to make a gift tonight. I'm hoping you will join me. Before we close, let's please give one more round of applause to Tahirih's clients, the community and pro bono partners we honor tonight, and for the staff who made the Tahirih organization unique and critical. Please enjoy the refreshments and take the opportunity to connect with our dedicated staff and board members who were recognized here tonight. We'd love to meet you. And as a reminder, please leave your headsets on your seats. Thank you all so much for being here tonight, and good night.